What is sociology? Contrary to what is often thought, that is not such a difficult question, although it's easy to assemble hundreds of definitions and make it all seem extremely complicated. Sociology is the science that has as its subject matter human societies. As simple as that. For the time being, it's enough to say that sociologists are interested in the history and the structure of the large configurations that are formed by human beings. The scientific study of human societies became an institutionalized discipline taught at universities at the end of the 19th century, and that implies that some of the classic sociologists that we discuss here were not university professors at all. Some of them never called themselves sociologists. They were amateurs, but amateurs in the best sense of the word. The fact that their study of social life was done in non-institutionalized surroundings had its advantages. There is something fresh and innocent about the books by Alexis de Tocqueville, who never had to worry about tenure, whose chapters were never scrutinized by academic committees or peer reviewers. But the disadvantage may have been that a few of the classic authors got carried away by their own arguments because, they lectured and wrote for people who worshipped them, as was the case of Auguste Comte, who clearly missed the objections of a critical audience, as we will see. The classical sociologists were not just interested in human societies, they were focusing on problems attending the fundamental social change that took place in Europe at the time of the Industrial Revolution. They studied what has been called the Great Transformation, and that means the transition from agrarian societies to industrial societies, from traditional to modern societies, the growing influence of the modern sciences, the rise of the modern metropolis, the process of secularization, the development of new political arrangements, such as modern democracy, but also modern totalitarianism, and also those more general tendencies, such as the process of rationalization, described by Max Weber, or the process of civilization, theorized by Norbert Elias. The first sociological theories were proposed by intellectuals who were struck by those brand new developments that they witnessed for the very first time in the history of the human species. And one of the reasons why we still experience their theories as illuminating is that today we live in the spin-off of processes that became noticeable for the very first time during their lifetime. That being said, we still have to realize that the thinkers that are canonized now as the founders of modern sociology constitute a very one-sided group. They are all men, they are all Europeans, and with the exception of Tocqueville, they are middle class, all of them. When studying their theories, it's important to ask yourself from time to time what difference it would have made had they been women, or born in Asia or Latin America, or stemming from the very rich classes of society, or from the very poor. There may be a gender bias, a class preference, maybe even a bit of ethnocentrism at work in the composition, the selection of the members of the canon of the greats. And there is a possibility that some important thinkers have so far been overlooked by the historians of the social sciences. There may be authors who in the future might be given their well-deserved place in the pantheon of the classic sociological thinkers.